So this is a mad out situation in the WNBA, and it's with Jordan Horston. So Jordan Horston is one of the best young players in the world. Like, again, if you haven't been watching much of the Seattle Storm, she's been one of the best young players in the world. She is somebody that is, honestly, the best young defender in basketball, and offensively attacking the basket, she's the best young player in the world at that. She just can't shoot. If Jordan Horston ever finds a jump shot, she'll be on the next Olympic team. That's the level Jordan Horston is. But after 2 years in the W, she's now tore her ACL, which is obviously going to be huge for the Seattle Storm. It's going to be a big issue because it means they're going to have to start now Alysha Clark. Unless they find someone else or somehow get involved in a Maybury trade or something, they're going to have to start Alysha Clark, which is not ideal. Absolutely not ideal. So now, with Jordan Horston injured, off the floor for her, it is kind of a crazy thing. And I just saw this right here. I genuinely just saw this article here. So, it was basically saying, obviously, Jordan Crawford gave her offer Lady Vol Hoops. She tore her ACL this month and faced surgery and rehab. Jordan can handle that, but she won't receive the salary for the year. And, basically is needing a GoFundMe. She's someone who is pretty much an all-star level player. But because of the contracts, she can't basically afford to survive. It says here she'll have surgery and rehab in Seattle. She'll not be an active roster player and thus will not draw salary under the terms of the CBA. Injury occurred while playing in Nashville for AU basketball. She can no longer play there either due to industry and is not covered by workers' compensation. Horse has only been in the league for 2 seasons but doesn't have money built up to sustain 9 to 12 months without income. Bought a very modest home in Ohio in late 2024. So that she would have one stable residence and now faces mortgage and upkeep bills. And to be fair, that's probably similar enough to rent. I'm guessing if you're on $80,000 a year, you're not buying anything crazy. Jordan is a long, tough rehab back to basketball. Let's let her focus on that and not worry about being able to pay her home, keep her home or pay the bills. While hesitant, she's humbly asked for Lady Vols and Seattle Storm Nation to help her get through this time. Any amount would be appreciated. Which is crazy. Jordan Horston is a starter. Jordan Horston is a starter for a playoff team. And that just shows for any of these rookies. Realistically, you get hurt, you might not be able to survive. That's the craziest thing is where it's there's no insurance. The reason why they're able to still pay those contracts in the NBA a lot of the time is there isn't insurance there. It's why you don't see Joel Embiid playing for Cameroon. It's why you don't see Pascal Siakam playing for Cameroon. It's why, for example, Luol Deng played for Great Britain. These countries don't have the insurance. They don't have enough money to pay for the insurance because if you get hurt, some insurance is going to have to cover their contract and it's $50 million. They don't have the insurance for that. Whereas in the WNBA, these contracts are $70,000. The insurance shouldn't be that high. There should be insurance on this. There should be. And this is not on the, and if you want to say, the teams, the players know what they signed up for, sure they did, but it's these players, Caitlin Clark generated probably $100 million for the league. She got paid $70,000. And you might be saying, Jordan Horston is not Caitlin Clark, but she's a starter. The Seattle Storm are a team that has decent attendance, and she is a starter. She is a starter. She is a player that needed to make this much of a leap to get into all-star consideration. And she is potentially going to be out of her home. And I don't know what's going to happen, sell her home if she ends up taking a hit, paying she might have to take the financial hit and do that. And then what happens then? She can't afford rent and she's living back with her parents. And you might be saying, you need to find a normal 9-to-5 job. It's it's not the easiest thing to do with one ACL. As somebody who's not quite a little bit worse than ACL injury, snapped my Achilles. I wasn't able to be out of bed for long periods of time for 3 months. And it's similar enough with an Achilles injury. You're not going to be right for months post-surgery. So you're basically saying it's she has to try sell her house, find a job for a few months. And I get it. That's something that for normal people. But not professional athletes at the top of their game. It's something you would very rarely see, especially because you don't hear about this in the NBA because the league actually has insurance on contracts. The insurance can't be that expensive to cover $1.5 million of contracts per team. Like, let's just say Joel Embiid's contract alone. Like, Joel Embiid makes more in the WNBA. Tobias Harris makes more money in the entire WNBA. Like, there are teams willing to insure Tobias Harris's contract. Paul George makes more in the WNBA twice. And I'm not sure you couldn't put Caitlin Clark out onto an NBA floor and score more points than Paul George. Obviously exaggerating, of course you wouldn't. But still, it's a mad out situation. It's not a good one. Not a good one at all. Like, let's see how the GoFundMe is doing. $1.2 thousand from 18 Nations is not bad. And in fairness, like, only looking for 10k isn't an extortionate amount. But like, Taiga Nekawumake is right. The Players Association, there needs to be something in this. There needs to be an insurance fund. There needs to be like almost a retired players fund. Obviously the AU contracts are non-guaranteed too, and that's another story. But like, AU's not backed. Like, not really sure this WNBA's issue to get. She didn't make a lot of money in her early years. You have to make choices based on that, and it's like, if the club provides salary during a player's injury, they should put in players' contracts certain constraints of what they can do outside the season. I mean, it would probably cost a little more to insure, but it's 70 grand. It's 70 grand. Like, there's going to be something in the new CBA about this. There's going to be. There has to be. There has to be, because, like, imagine, like, so many players after one year, especially because, again, her third year is guaranteed. Fair enough, like, you don't pay her for the totality of her contract, because that fourth year is not guaranteed money. But if you have guaranteed money, it should be, and you're out for medical reasons, it should be guaranteed money. Like, in most of the time in the workplace, if you're off for medical reasons, you get paid most of the time. Maybe I don't know how it is in America, but it just seems awful. It seems like an awful situation. And the fact is like, who knows what will happen, like, because Jordan Horston, in fairness to her, she's not an Aaliyah Boston. She's not an Aaliyah. She's not a Caitlin. She's not someone who's making crazy money off the court, despite the fact that on the court she's a serious player. But hopefully all's okay. I do think probably, like, she'll be sorted. I do think maybe there's some work that they can give her in and around the Seattle Storm organization that, like, will kind of be able to make her get the money. Whether that be, I don't know, doing some work behind the scenes, whether that be, like, I don't know, doing some punditry at the games, I'm not sure, but I'm sure the Storm could figure out some sort of work for her to do for 75k a year, or for 80k a year, just to keep her happy for next year. Because, like, I don't even know, because if she wants to come back next year, she's going to have to quit a 9-to-5 job, and imagine being an all-star and having to work a 9-to-5 job to make ends meet, all-star-ish level player to make ends meet during an off-season. It's just a mad thing to think about. Again, probably nothing that she can do right now, but I'd be shocked if the new CBA doesn't have something to address, especially because she is a teammate and a starter on a team with Nneka Nwumike.